2025 has been dubbed the Ocean Super Year, and various ocean-related events are being held. Beginning in April, the World Expo 2025 Osaka Kansai is being held over 6 months with the theme of Designing Future Society for Our Lives. One of its highlights, the Blue Ocean Dome, has attracted the attention of visitors from all over the world, including exhibits that show the movement of world currents and display ocean-related environmental issues on a spherical monitor.
海の生き物がゴミで暮らせなくなることが分かった。で、怖かった。
In June, the United Nations Ocean Conference was held in Nice, France, where an international framework for ocean conservation was discussed. On June 11th, a side event was held live from Nice and Osaka, where international experts and Japanese government officials discussed what is needed to achieve a sustainable ocean.
We have engaged in deep discussions.
In addition, international rules for the sustainable use of the oceans in areas not under the jurisdiction of any country will come into force in June. And in August, there are consultations on regulating plastics which cause marine pollution. In September, multilateral rules for protecting fisheries resources from overfishing are scheduled to come into force. Rules for the mining of mineral resources from the seabed are expected to be adopted by the end of the year. These are examples of a number of important agreements regarding the oceans, scheduled during 2025. Blue Economy. Views from Japan.
Hello, I'm Jackie Ensman, and I'll be your host. The year 2025 has been called an Ocean Super Year, a year in which many international regulations concerning the ocean are expected to be established. That's why I'd like to discuss the key word, blue economy, an essential concept when discussing ocean-related issues, together with Dr. Sunami Atsushi, President of the Sasakawa Peace Foundation, which is actively working to address a wide range of ocean challenges. Hello, Dr. Sunami.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
This has been a year when progress has been made across all areas, from curbing excessive use of ocean resources in fisheries and development, as well as establishing global rules for ocean governance.
Well, as we saw this gathering of UN Ocean Conference, which is the high-level gathering convened by the United Nations, and this is the first meeting of the UN Ocean Conference was in 2017 in New York, and then followed by 2022 in Lisbon, and so this is, you can see, 2025 to really. To review the progress of SDGs, which is number 14, which is life below water. And as we know that the SDGs is a goal that we need to achieve by 2030. So we only have 5 more years to go. So this was a very important time for all of us to get together at the Nice to really see where we are in the moment and evaluate our situation in the year 2025, and looking ahead for another last 5 years of achieving SDGs number 14.
So I'd like to talk about the theme for our program today, which is the blue economy. How is this phrase different from other existing terms like ocean economy or maritime economy?
Well, the blue economy's key concept is sustainability. That's why it gathers so much attention from the globally today, because we are facing the tremendous crisis of ocean resources, and because both from climate change and climate crisis and others, which makes the ecosystem surrounding the ocean is in danger. So we have to consider the way to balance both economic development and sustainability. And so this is why the blue economy sort of combines the both two sides of the coin together to make it a sort of co-benefit for both economic growth and also sustainability and the livelihood or ecosystem of the ocean.
How has that been approached in Japan?
Well, of course, we have our own sort of concept, very similar to blue economy. We call it Umigyo, which sort of based on the Japanese traditional sort of management and way of thinking of first starting with our fisheries, but with the idea of changing fisheries into more sustainable and much broader sense of blue economy, and really addresses some of the key unique Japanese sort of questions about our challenges about ocean management.
And I think Umigyo is also, it's a Japanese word, so I wonder if you could tell us the parts about what Umigyo means as well.
Well, gyo is about sort of, broadly speaking, more economic activities of things. We can have different sort of professional economic activities surrounding different sectors and so on and so forth. But umi is an ocean, literally. And it's the word that covers the sort of economic activities utilizing the marine ocean resources.
I see. Let's take a closer look at what Umigyo in Japan is all about.
Miura City is the birthplace of the term Umigyo. Located at the entrance to Tokyo Bay, it offers easy access to both the open sea and the major consumer market of Tokyo, and thrived as a hub for frozen tuna from deep-sea fishing. However, in the 1980s, tuna catches began to decline. At the same time, advancements in freezing technology and improvements in transportation networks reduced Miura's geographic advantage, causing the city to lose its competitiveness with other frozen tuna sites.
水産業の陰りが見えてきたといいますか、少し衰退を当時の市長として感じられた久野さんがですね、何か新しいことを海を水産を振興するために何か新しい産業と結びついた方がいいんじゃないかというふうにお考えになられて、で新しい造語として海業という言葉を作られたんですね。
Miura City focused on its fisheries and worked to connect them with a wide range of other sectors, including food processing, tourism, agriculture, and education. This market opened in 2000. Here, consumers can purchase high-quality tuna wholesale from oceans around the world. This restaurant, founded in the year 2000 by a group of fishermen spouses, serves fish caught at the port and has many loyal customers.
ログハウス調だっていうのが珍しいっていうことだと思うんですけど、あと海を見ながらご飯を食べれるっていうのがとてもいいかなって思います。はい。
Since peaking in the 1960s, both fish catches and sales have been declining. Yet the number of visitors has continued to grow since the market opened in 2000, excluding COVID-19 effects, almost as if to make up for the decline.
I heard that the original Umigyo concept also included plans to open a hotel. At the same time, opposition arose because there was worries that this was too risky for a public organization to finance. However, more recently, I've heard that there are again plans to build a new resort using private funding. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Well, you can see how the Miura city's effort on Umigyo that created an increase of tourists coming into the city. Now you can sort of imagine that even building some sort of a resort that would encourage or to accept more tourists to this city. as you see. So if you think about, if you have a plan that doesn't have the actual numbers that sort of support your, saying, business plan, it will be, of course, difficult. Who's going to finance this, or who's going to take responsibility, if it doesn't work out as it is planned. So first, because Umigyo successfully took off, and you see the increased number of tourists coming to Miura. And then you can imagine what sort of, then the kind of tourists now you want to gather more by building a resort, which is really catered to have more high-end or other global tourists coming to Miura in next phase of the development. But this needs to be, as you can see, that in the case of Miura, it's sort of started off with a crisis, sense of crisis, by facing the decline of the traditional fisheries. And all the fishermen and the community around the fisheries finally got together to think that otherwise of how to survive, how to develop the city beyond the traditional fisheries. So which really created a sense of community that expanded, including other stakeholders, like tourism, like the education, or local community that has to do with shops, other businesses, other than traditional fisheries, to come together, to think about Miura using the economic development model in a sustainable way, so that and utilizing their sort of resources provided by the ocean. So this is a sort of focused and well studied model of Umigyo in Japan at this moment.
In another area of Japan, a unique approach has been used to revitalize a region, leveraging the charm of the sea. Let's take a look.
The Seto Inland Sea is surrounded by the regions of Honshu, Shikoku, and Kyushu. This calm sea is home to over 3,000 islands and is renowned for its delicious seafood and mild climate. Takamatsu City is home to a port that has flourished since the 16th century, serving as the gateway to Shikoku and the islands of the Seto Inland Sea. One island, located about 50 minutes by ferry from Takamatsu, has recently been gaining worldwide attention.
We love it. I mean, it's beautiful, all the artwork, the modern parts, but with the old parts, I think is really beautiful.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Naoshima, known as a holy land of art, is visited by tourists from around the world.
I'm an artist in Germany, and a colleague of mine visited Naoshima for, I think, 8 years. She came back and told me, and she said, if you come to Japan, you have to visit Naoshima. It's a very nice place in nature and art. And so we are here.
High-quality luxury accommodations provide a dream destination for lovers of art and culture. Naoshima once prospered through its copper smelting and fishing industries, but the island wasn't immune to waves of time and population decline. In 1985, the mayor of Naoshima connected with an entrepreneur running an education business in a nearby town along the Seto Inland Sea. This was the turning point that sparked Naoshima's turn toward cultural development and revitalizing the region through art. A distinctive feature of the island's culture is that it utilizes the entire island as an art site, creating a space where nature and art coexist. Site-specific artwork that blend with the landscape, such as this facility that is both a hotel and art museum, and the world-famous Red Pumpkin by Kusama Yayoi are major attractions. Souvenir shops bustle with tourists looking for local specialties from the Seto Inland Sea region. As a result of local revitalization through art, real estate has risen in value and more people are moving to the area, boosting the local economy.
So the Setouchi Triennale Art Festival, which has been held since 2010, has grown into a large-scale event that involves not only Naoshima, but also the surrounding islands. Additionally, I've heard that the islands themselves are working to establish a Setouchi brand that will brand not only the islands, but also their coastal specialty products as well.
Well, what makes Naoshima and this Setouchi model unique is that it exemplifies the sort of a combination of, or convergence of art, architecture, and nature, which gives us tremendous beauty from the Setouchi of the Thousand Islands, and and also with the local revitalization. And this is the key, right? Because it's not just the art and architecture and nature, but also it really brings in the new way of thinking about the local revitalization.
And the fact that these islands have traditionally been so remote has preserved them in a way. It almost has become an additional charming point about the islands, the fact that they are so separate from kind of the big city life that maybe people know in Japan.
Some of the islands are now being deserted. Nobody lives there. We created a very unique ecosystem. That island itself has no, sort of sense. It sort of preserved nature as itself. And we have so many of islands like that in the Setouchi, where now it's using it as a way of appreciating the nature itself by connecting these islands that are being already deserted or nobody living. And so which created additional new value to, and so it's really turned around from the area where sort of declining of the traditional industries and manufacturing and others, and onto a new sustainable blue economy model. And this is a very unique example in Japan.
Let's take a look at activities focused on the future.
In this marine education session for children, they observe marine life, cultivate aquatic plants, and pick up trash, all on the beaches of their hometown. Hannan City is located in southern Osaka, not far from Kansai International Airport, the gateway to Osaka. Surrounded by sea and mountains, it has a thriving fishing industry. Known as the cradle of the sea are rare eelgrass beds along the coast, which are declining nationwide. This type of seaweed is vital to the fishing industry. It serves as spawning grounds for fish and shellfish to lay their eggs and helps improve water quality. The local children play a major role in conserving these eelgrass beds. As part of their marine education, they are actively involved in conservation efforts. And over the 5 years leading up to 2023, the size of the eelgrass beds has nearly doubled. We spoke to the leader of this initiative.
この半南の海っていうのが生物多様性の保全区域である OECM に登録されてるっていうこともあって、毎年小学生たちに生き物観察というか生き物調査やってもらってるんですけども、特に今やってるアマモ場だとか自然再生の部分で言えば、自然自体の自然治癒力っていうのは非常に高いものがあるんですけども、いろいろな原因でそれがちょっと十分に発揮できてないこともありますんで、逆に我々がちょっとそこにお手伝いをすることによって、それが少しでも早く進んでいくような結果に結びついていけるようにしていくっていうのがすごく重要かなとは思います。
Dr. Sunami, I think I saw you in that last video. Can you talk about why this initiative is focusing on eelgrass specifically?
Well, we used to go and swimming, and the eelgrass was always there to bother us because it's really, it was a kind of a part of the Japanese coastal scene to have the eelgrass, and that creates a sort of a home for small fish that comes in, and and it gives the diversity and the home ground for the diversity of the Japanese coastal area. And eelgrass over the years, throughout the process of industrialization in Japan, most of them has to start to disappear. And the fishermen didn't first realize there's the relationship with the eelgrass that has been disappearing, and also the declining of the fish catch that they're getting over the years. And so they connect the two together now. They're thinking that if we can restore the eelgrass, then as we used to be, and then can we bring back the fish catch like the before the industrialization and other, and of course the pollution and all other factors that went into the Japanese coastal areas.
And eelgrass also has a special role to play when it comes to absorbing CO2.
Of course. So seagrass in general, right? It's a floating. It's the plants underwater, like a mangrove and seagrass and wetlands. They are the coastal areas that were considered to have some sort of role in carbon sinks and absorbing the CO2. And looking at for Japan's case, we don't have much mangroves, unlike the southern other part of the world. But in Japan, we have a lot of seagrass and eelgrass. So we focus on this particular aspect of as a blue carbon to really also create the co-benefits of not only bring back the fisheries that we used to have, but also a way to contribute the carbon sequestration.
The eelgrass beds in Hannan City have been certified under the J-Blue credit system for their CO2 absorption volume, which is authorized by the Japanese Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism. J-Blue credit is Japan's unique blue carbon credit system that quantifies the CO2 absorbed and stored by marine and coastal ecosystems, allowing it to be traded for credits.
実は森林、陸と海って同じ量ぐらい二酸化炭素を吸収してるですって言われてます。そういう意味ではもう対等というかですね、同じぐらい CO2 吸収できる。で、面積でいうと海が7割で陸が3割なので、そういう意味では面積あたりではもしかしたら、海より陸の方が吸収はしてるんですけども、沿岸っていうのはその海の二酸化炭素吸収の半分ぐらいは果たしてるって言われてるんですね。で、面積はもう 1% ぐらいしかないんです。地方に。だからそういう意味ではもうすごい狭いところでものすごくアクティブに二酸化炭素を吸収してくれているので、ものすごいその吸収源としても重要で、しかも我々人間にとっても海との一番のインターフェースですよね、沿岸の浅いところって。でそういったところは、場合によっては我々が活動も自分たちでできる場所なんですよね、保全したり。だからそういうすごく重要性もある場所で二酸化炭素も吸収してくれて、で我々も水産資源楽しんだりリクリエーション楽しんだり、いろんななんていうんですかね、贈り物をもらってるので、逆にそれを返して保全にするっていうのも我々の責務なんじゃないかなっていう、感じがしています。
This was a perfect example of how these sustainability efforts to make local fishing sustainable also at the same time had the impact of global sustainability as well.
Mm-hmm. And one of the other unique points about Japan's effort is that Japan is, particularly in the coastal regions, are facing always natural disasters, and the way of preserving this blue carbon or the blue economy is a way of us creating a coastal resilience to against the storm surges or any erosions that happens in Japan. And so this could be a very interesting model for rest of the other part of the world that faces a similar natural disaster crisis. And so we are not only trying to use Umigyo as in a way to see this is a unique Japanese example of blue economy, but also it all can be applicable to our area in the world that is facing a similar sort of challenges from natural disasters and erosions and storms and so on and so forth, as a way to not only co-benefiting not only sustainable ecosystems, but also both economic development, but also the protection from natural disasters as well.
Right now, there's a large international conference underway in Japan. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, we are hosting a Tokyo International Conference on African Development in Yokohama, and this is Japan's hosting an international conference for developing Africa, and we are discussing how Japan and Africa together to think about the future of Africa and what the Japanese contribution to that end. And of course, this time we are talking also about blue economy. Over the years, Africa and African countries, particularly in the coastal areas, are discussing quite actively on the role of blue economy for African development. And they have been gathering several international conferences on particularly discussing Africa's and blue economy and the future of Africa in it. And I have been participating in that as well. And so this time, though, for TICAD, for the first time, we are trying to discuss the blue economy from Japanese point of view, where we can share some of our experience in blue economy, particularly Umigyo, as we have been discussing, in the context of African development. And I think there will be very exciting discussions that are going on right now.
It seems like a wonderful opportunity to be sharing experiences, and I want to thank you so much for sharing all of your insights with us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. In the next episode, we'll take a deep dive into the potential of the blue economy in Africa. So stay tuned. We'll see you next time.
This program was made possible by the Sasakawa Peace Foundation.